Hello everyone, this is Makiko from Lakey Lab. Today is a round 4 of contract revocation boot camp. We're going to start with the heart sounding mantra, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The mantra is on a group chat, very simple. Please sing along. This sound sequence have a specific vibration and frequency to make it to your state of mind in a certain place. So Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, here you go.
I just gave Ryan the link.
Okay.
And Dave. Bakaloo.
All right. Hopefully you settle in. Now I still do not see.
I sent these guys the link directly to them on Facebook now, and they were on there. So I don't know why they're not getting in.
Yeah, they're asking me for the link.
Well,
And he says 3 of us here.
Hey Dave, did you get your link from me?
Oh, there you are. Hello.
Can you unmute?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
There you go.
There
Sorry.
you are. Did you get your link from me?
I did get it from you, but the first time it brought me right back to where Ja and I forget.
Event
So we were all hanging out, but we were somewhere else. There were 3 of us waiting for you guys, but we couldn't find it. So thank you, Valerie.
Okay, well, wow, I wonder why that it's taking you to the link and not to this page, because this is the link I copied.
They both brought me to the Google. I did the one from the Bootcamp 4. It doesn't matter. We're here. Sometimes things
well,
happen.
trying to get the other guys in too.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? He left the other one because he got your personal link.
So he's probably still trying to figure it out.
Yes, you know, it's okay, so now it looks like I'll be able to. Now, what I'm seeing 2 different ways. I'm seeing where I can see the picture of Makiko solid and nothing written, but it says showcase.
Oh no, there's Ryan. Okay, that's another one I sent it.
Oh, good. Hey,
Okay, good.
Ryan.
Yes, all right, Ryan and I were hanging out in
I
the
sent
other.
it to too.
All right, so we're still missing Zakalu.
Yeah, Zakalu. He should be here pretty quick. I sent it to him too, so I would think
he was hanging out in the other link with Ryan and me.
What is this other link? Is a ghost link? It's funny.
That's okay. It was trying to fool us to see how dedicated we are.
It's a test.
Yep. Now, do you guys care that I'm like floating in and out? Because I'm going to be making us wonderful food online.
Oh, jeez.
As long as you're going to serve us.
If I virtually eat it, will I still gain weight?
Actually, has in no time there are no calories.
Okay, that works for me.
So just to catch you guys up real quick, I was able to get about 35 minutes of I read what we'd read in the beginning, the 280 words or whatever, and I heard the explanation.
Okay.
That was about the amount of time I had because it was 2.5 hours, and I used up a lot of bandwidth at home. We went about $80 over our bill last month. So.
Okay. All right.
It's okay. It's okay.
You know, I like to. I want to have a. I want to make sure Zakalu is here because he went through the amazing breakthroughs through the revocation.
Oh.
Yeah. So we'll see. He could first
maybe?
he could get in, and then second he could actually speak up. So that's an ultimate test. Because I understand his entity was preventing him even from him presenting himself here.
Okay.
So he himself went through actually the twos. I don't want to actually disclose that too much without his permission, but this is gonna be a good test for him whether he really get rid of all the things. Now, still missing him. right, Zakaru?
All right, so Ryan sent me the same link that Valerie sent, and I'm curious what link I went to. And is it actually also posted on Bootcamp 4? Let me see if it's been updated on
Well, the
Bootcamp
thing is,
4.
I can't
Yeah,
get to the link.
posted it to the site, everything.
Valerie, do you want to post the link?
Yes, I see you did it 9 minutes ago. Okay.
Okay. Valerie, do you mind to post a link here in the side chat so I perhaps
Good idea. And who is it we're missing? I'm sorry, Ja?
Zakaru.
All right, so I am going to go to his page. Oh, he was on with us on the other page. So
And then Todd. Todd is missing too.
all right, so I just double checked. I sent Zakalu the
Oh, you could? How about Todd?
link. Yeah, I'm gonna have to friend all you guys after all this and get that updated.
Oh, gee, you haven't friended us yet.
I'm already a friend.
Well, through Google Docs, but not on Facebook. I don't think I am. Maybe.
I'm friends with you on Facebook.
Yes, you are. You have wonderful comments to various things. We're gonna have to clone you so you can be East Coast and West Coast at the same time.
I have a lot to say, do I?
Well, I didn't say anything.
It must be my higher self that likes to comment.
Oh, you're doing it in your sleep, huh?
Maybe.
Either that or a 2-hour time difference.
Yeah.
Well, I was starting to share that Makiko and I met sort of by happenstance this summer. We were both at a Kirtan fundraiser event, and I don't know. I was drawn to come up and say hi, and she responded hi, and then later told me that she had been instructed to go there, that somebody would be there, and that turned out to be me.
That's right. And still same, it's nothing is coincidence. Now we keep dropping people.
Uh-oh.
We lost Ryan and Zakaru are still not here.
Oh wow. Well, I'm hanging out, so
That's good. That's good.
I'm sort of curious whether if I have the headphones set now. I guess what do I have on a laptop normally? Just the microphone and video, but no speaker, or?
So you should have the series of what is this control panel. If you click the mic, you're gonna mute yourself. In my case, it turns into red from white. And if you click on a video, hello Harris, hi stranger.
Ah.
If you click the video, you could make yourself from screen to avatar or whatever you have profile image.
Gotcha.
And in a plus sign with the people, you could invite your friend. That's how it works.
Okay, now I didn't know if we were able to invite other people. You had sort of indicated that there was a limit or something like that.
There, I believe there is 10 seats, correct? Valerie.
Did we lose Valerie?
I think we lost Valerie now.
I see her picture.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I was just checking out Facebook to make sure if I could get anybody else. Gina.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we definitely missing Zakaru for sure. Ryan's gone. I mean, those are, this must be some kind of sign. It's interesting.
Let's see, you're the monkey, and the monkey plays tricks.
Yeah.
Fire monkey.
It's funny. A lot of things happening. I want to clear one thing before I go into, and then hopefully this will make a lot of Ryan and Zane, especially you, also Zakaru for sure. I'm a little mess. I was just crying my eyes out, in a previous session. But excuse my appearance. Okay, here we go. Atlantean forgiveness statement from the Lord of God and Goddess of my being. I give myself a permission to forgive myself for all parts that I played in the fall and mind of Atlantis. I ask every soul from every kingdom of Atlantis, every man and a child, to please forgive me. And then I ask God and universe to forgive me as well. So be it. So this is a good statement for those who has a past, which is most of you. If you're born in America, you basically incarnate or you get the karmic debt from Atlantean time. So this is a good phrase. If you have a recollection or memory or trauma from that period in your deepest moment, in a quiet moment, to say this, to release yourself from the trauma or pain, perhaps, you carry through to this lifetime. I have my text version in my Facebook note page, but I could repost. It's a short sentence, so you could repost that onto Andrew's site if you wish. It's important to read aloud at the right, state of mind. If you have, okay, love you, bye. If you somewhat connection to crystal, you find yourself in a water or fear toward the water, or sometimes love of water, but somehow some kind of something trigger, the water trigger you. A lot of time I see from when I'm treating people, when Atlantean time trauma was the
Drowning? The drowning?
Yeah, drowning, separation anxiety, something related to water, and in most of the time, a lot of people has something to do with a crystal, and it's usually very much into some healing and a very connected to energetic healing, but also somewhat technologically savvy. But you may have a dream, and then so my recommendation is that to do a deep meditation with intention of Atlantean time, going through the image of Atlantis, and if you have a favorite stone, crystal, and have that with you, and then have a crystal heal you, talk to you. There's a different type of healing modality, and I'm sure somebody else could speak well to this. But if you're a healer in Atlantean time, you could read a crystal by touching the outside of crystal. Yeah. So that's a pretty cool ability. I will post this. If you can find it, my Facebook, my personal Facebook, note page, I'm pretty sure they have a titles Atlantean Forgiveness Statement. So that's really good for you. Now I wasn't born here, but I was scientist, something to do with Fall of Atlantis. So I had to read this a couple of times. But I think many of you probably associated with that event. And remember, they have a 3, 4, and rise. So you could be any of those 3 timeline, or could be all of them. The most important one is the last one, last 4. So 3rd fall of Atlantis and 4th fall of Lemuria, because they are fight and everything went down. That's the time, which is 3,800 years ago, about. That is a time when we begin to have, decay, disease, become more dense. So that the Earth become like a 3D realm, like a lower density of 3D realm. That was a transition time. So it's a huge, in terms of implication to our universe, as well as where we are now. So a lot of us carrying that trauma from that. We're still missing who is this? We're still missing. Oh, Ryan, can you hear us? I can't hear you. Ryan? I wanted to mention Ryan because he posted wonderful articles of his, I would say, the introduction to his human handbook, or maybe chapter 1. And thank you for that. He's talking about reincarnation grid and incarnation grid, and then how Earth or human being being trapped with this reincarnation grid, artificially made by system of domination and control. And then we are here. Many of us are here. Came from the so-called back door, the broken system, right? To reclaim and awaken the people, so the people don't go into this grid again to keep doing the same thing over. Well, it's not exactly the same thing, but unfair karmic debt from someone else.
Wow.
So that's why some of us, or many of us, suffer from drug addiction or a slavery mentality, never be able to succeed or never be able to have a full expression, because we are many of us are forced to incarnate into the wrong skin suits, wrong DNA lineage, and purposefully matched by wrong parents. And every time you have some success in a career, they bring you the older girlfriend or drug addiction or food addiction, right? It's all put it into the fine print. Or in the astral realm, in a fake astral realm, they know who you're looking for. They know your old contract. So they attach purposefully, make your life so much harder, so you will never complete your agreement and contract. Well, it's a harsh way to say it, but that's, without putting a sugar coat, that's what domination and control, the grid we call Archon grid. Some known as Lord of Karma, which is, it's a kind of fake false right system developed back when anarchy was there, right? I want to be careful. There are a lot of good anarchy. There's a certain portion of that species. It was, again, under the influence of domination control, and it produced this false right technology. So when we die, you see, people see the light of a tunnel, but that's really the false light. That's not real light. But the people hear those stories, maybe church or religion, when you die, there's a heaven and a hell, and there's a light, and people go to the light, and you see some kind of ascended master or godlike things that you're worshiping, and likely they're waiting there, so that you think, oh, you go there, and then you kind of going through this trap cycle of the fake grid, so-called fake astral. It's not fake. It exists, but it's not the natural cycle of. We should be incarnating species, not reincarnating species. Correct? We need to move on. So that's the Brian was beautifully describing in one of his article posted in Andrew's site. I encourage everybody to read through it. Second one he posted was also important. I try to remember what that was. I can't remember. Ryan, can you speak up? Could you use a sidebar? Okay. I promise that I'm going to share my story about how domination and control and your past lives impact on us. So it's a short story, but it might be kind of a reference point. Everybody's different. Everybody's completely unique. So one story doesn't help other. However, at least you could view this as an example, and then how we are entangled, not just each other, but when you believe the past. Even this was like hundreds hundreds of lifetime ago, impacted me now. In combination with this system and control system, reinforce this double karmic debt in a very deleterious way to me. So I just gonna explain to how that happened. Hello, who is this? Beautiful profile, I like it. I just don't know who this is. Is this Ryan?
Todd.
It's Todd.
Oh, hey, Todd.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Sorry I'm late.
No, that's all right. We kind of started. We were showcasing the article posted by Ryan, so I'm glad you are here.
Well, Ryan's here now too, and the one in the cat in the hat there looking.
Yeah. Can you speak now, Ryan? And Zachary is still missing. That's not a really good sign. I'm worried about him.
I sent him another message too, so I don't know.
Yeah. Ooh, cars still continue. Poor guy. We'll send a prayer for him. Ryan, can you speak? Because we don't hear audio from you.
Yeah, I'm here now.
Excellent.
I finally got it working.
Good. Were you listening what I was explaining to your stuff or no?
No, I didn't hear anything till now.
I was basically going through your incarnation, reincarnation grid, what you posted, like a backdoor, how wonderful article that was.
Oh, thank you.
And then I wanted to add my own story, but before I do that, you posted the two articles. One was the reincarnation, incarnation grid. What was the second one?
The other one was just about spirit guides.
Spirit guide. That's very, very important.
How everyone has spirit guides.
Yes, and not only that, many, right? I mean, some of us have hundreds and thousands, the sets. So I want to make sure, and thank you for that, the posting. That's more like not. How do you say this? I don't want to spend too much time on a spirit guide in case they all know it. I want to make sure using them at the right time is vital, and knowing that they're ready to serve you at any moment on your call. Now, it's a free will, the way it's set up. If we don't ask, they can come in. They could be right next to you, like hopping around everywhere now, and then they know you need help. But if you don't ask, they can really act upon. So that's important for everybody to know.
If you go through your life always, thinking that you're alone, you're going to have to deal with this, you're going to have to deal with that, and you never say, spirit guides, come help me. Guardian spirits, I need your help. If you act like they're not even around, then they're not going to be around. When I got a call about, when I spoke to Andrew Bartzis the first time, he said I had a lot of guardian spirits around me, and their contracts with me were beginning to fade and dim. So since I realized that, I began just calling in my spirit guides all the time, and always calling them on ceremonies like fire ceremonies. And I feel like I'm at least regaining the connection, and because they're always here. It was me and my unawareness of it and not calling upon them that makes them not here.
So I like to add to that. There are many, I think Swano and somewhere else, if you really want to get to know, there are the different type of spirit guides. So I usually call, if you don't know any spirit guide, if you want to start with like a principal, call principal first. The principal spirit guide is basically the one on the apex. They basically oversee everything. And depending on where you are in life and who you are, what contract, they could be very actively involving you now, or they may not. It's all depends. But the principal is always be on top. Now, I think my past life, I never really call upon them. So this lifetime is one of the lessons is to really include them in my life. And then I got a lot of advice, and it's awesome. It's amazing. But I started with a principal. I wanted to know principal guide, and then next was ancestral guide, because I see them. I was around. I wanted to send a gratitude. It's all depend on who you are. And there are also, am I speaking too fast? Also, yeah, student spirit. Those are one your colleague or coworker in an astral realm or in a spirit group that have the same mission as you do, but they didn't want to come down here and manifest it on a 3D world. So they are learning with you. So those are always around because they're observing, learning with you. And then there are also there's a couple more animal spirit. Everybody got an animal spirits, and probably more than one. So if you kind of have relate to a hawk, or a bear, or a snake, make a note of it because that's your animal spirit. And oftentimes they teach you as a medicine, the fundamental way for you to survive and live. So those are animal spirit guide. And they are archetype spirit guide, where, let's say, your theme, your spirit realm is part of, let's say, I don't know, it's connected to angelic realm, and then your spirit guide could be came down from Gabriel or something that the nature, or so that. And then another spirit guide is often represented to the ascended master. Every one of you has at least one ascended master because that's who you learn from in a realm. So as if you're on a spiritual journey, it's kind of impossible to avoid ascended master. If it's not one, it's if it could be more than one likely, but the one is very dominant, and it will come down, especially need it when you need it, or you probably have a certain affinity to certain ascended master. There's a reason why. So that's a clue if you haven't met them yet. So that's about the guide. But the most important guide is your higher self, always. Now, going back to the incarnation grid, I'm going to stop if you don't want to go into this one deeply, but I have just one personal story to add. Anybody else wants to add comments, question, your experience?
Does anyone call on their spirit guides ever? Has anyone here done the fire ceremony?
I just did this morning.
Yeah, I've
Oh,
done
you
the
just did one.
ceremony, and I have called on my spirit guides before too. So has Gina. That's my daughter.
I also call on my spirit guides.
It's very nice. It's very good too. It's a great habit to keep them in your life, to do ceremonies and call them. And it's really cool that you mentioned also the totems or the animal guides as well as the angelic guides. They're all you're multidimensional, so you have many spirit guides that we don't easily comprehend it. I mean, there could be a spirit in a tree, and that's guiding you at that one expression, that one moment. Or there could be, make sure to keep your eye out for the animal kingdom as well, because they're always here showing us different things. They say the birds are Pleiadian. They're showing the Pleiadian heart, or fifth dimensional love at all times, the bird realm.
Yeah, that's right. So bird is very multidimensional, so they come in and out, in and out. So that's why sometimes you see bird, and all of a sudden second you don't see it.
I actually have a very big connection with my hummingbirds around here that frequent here and hang out and fly in front of my face and do little dives in, and butterflies and dragons are something I connect with pretty personally.
Well, hummingbird is not just a bird. They are really different, right?
They're messenger. They have a little bit specific because they are not real bird. More like in between insect and bird, and there's only a bird could stay in a 0 point, no up, down,
And
or
Right,
fly
like a
backward.
helicopter.
Actually fly backwards also.
that is right. So there's a special, there's a something more message to
There's
you.
a teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Just by seeing them, it's a teaching.
Yeah. You mentioned about dragon. Andrew talked about dragon. You may want to read his, dragon. He recently republished that. His dragon is very important.
I'll check into that. I have very many visuals and photographs and a lot of things that bring in dragons quite often.
So dragon is domination control breaker. They also bring the universal source code from elsewhere. So it's quite telling if you're seeing a dragon. It's some sign and message. So that's beautiful. Pray with the fire element. Harris is riding on the side.
I have a question about the sidebar. I had it the other day and I don't see it. I only see full screen.
So if you put my case cursor over to the side, there are blue
On the left side there.
left side. Thank you.
Oh, I see 14.
On the very top, there is a blue
All right, I got
box.
it. I'm
There
in
you
now.
go. There you go.
Cool.
So spirit. Oh, another thing I want to mention about the spirit guide. I'm not familiar with some of the spirit guide, but I know there's a couple of guide I know for sure. The one was an ancestor. They're not DNA lineage, and I had to ask Andrew why I'm seeing this ancestor spirit, and none of them look like my DNA ancestor. And then I realized because I'm not in a wrong skin suit, I'm not in my real, I guess this was like a 7th or 8th choice of me. So my DNA lineage is already messed up because of this. To go into the system, I have to go pick this one. So those are my, I guess, real supposed to be the ancestor. But I recognize that's my ancestor when I see them. Now, another ancestor, spirit guide, my principal spirit guide, I knew I had a more than one relationship, and then I confirmed we had like hundreds of lifetime together. So oftentimes those spirit guide, the principal spirit guide, it's not like, high person or being, you already know them. They know you so well inside out, and they also want to learn from you because they have a somewhat overlapping interest in terms of their contracts, learning they couldn't learn, so they run through you, but their main interest is to keep you happy. They really want you to succeed. That's all they want you to do. Happy, complete the agreement and contract, and then they really sometimes some of them push you, right? Because they really want you to come out, and then don't regret. No regret when you finish this life and you have a contract and life review. At that point, they want you to celebrate instead of, oh, done it. I haven't done this, or things like that. So they are your friend. Use them. They want to learn from you. For you to be completing contract, but be successful and being happy, that means they're gonna be even more happy and blessed and so on and so on. So it's a mutual things. So it's not your weakness to ask them for help. You're doing them for favor as well.
Like before I even knew there were spirit guides when I was a child, I used to talk to my spirit guides, but I didn't know that's who it was, you know what I mean? But yeah, all the time I did. So
You
it's
are so
interesting.
in touch. You are so in alignment to yourself. So that's why you don't need to be even taught. That's wonderful. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, for me it was the opposite. After my friend Nadine passed, it was only this past it was in the summer that a friend channeled in a language that I did not know. And then when she came back, she said, the Dean's spirit guide asked to be your spirit guide as well. And I said, really? Wow, what an honor. And that opened up a door for sure.
That's beautiful. That's cool.
Actually, Makiko was right after you met Jean and Carla. That's when that happened. The same day. That same day.
Yeah, we probably have a something. We'll find out more. Wow, I like that Harris wrote on the sidebar. If anybody else care to read. And
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. I wasn't sure if that was going to work. What I wrote there, because I was just getting information in the message for me to tell you guys that they are always around you. They came with you for your incarnation. We all brought in 10 personal angels with us. They've been with us. It was all in agreement. They've been with us since we were born, and they're going to be with us until we leave. That is their role here for us. So they were just tagging me and saying, hey, please just mention that. Let them know we're around them as well. We're here to do their bidding. So they're here for you. That's just coming from the angelic realm. I just wanted to add that. Everyone brought that, unless it's going to be a special case if someone says, oh, I'm not bringing that part of those angels, because they're all part of you before you reincarnate. So normally we just split them, say, okay, all these angels are coming with us. This is personal. This is a part of my energy. So they're there for that. Apart from all the other special ones you can call archangels or whatnot, but you have your own personal angels with you, 10 of them. Most people would have it in that way, but things are not written on stone. Some people might say, no, I'm not going to do it in that way, or some people might say, but it's few of them. Most of us have that. All right. Just wanted to add that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Cool.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm so glad. And many of you are connected. And Michelle said never knew about them until a year and a half ago. Yeah, do you want to share that, Michelle? How you get to? Oh, I think we lost her. All right. Well, we'll be back.
I just like to add that how I knew I had mine was, I had a very tumultuous childhood, so things were not good. And so I guess on my lowest times, that's when they would come to me and tell me everything was going to be okay. And when things were all said and done, that stepdad that was so mean to me had remarried and was just as mean to the next family as he was to ours, and ended up actually killing his wife and one of his children. But my family all made it through. And I feel like it was because of my spirit guides that I did. Because we all suffered immense abuse. So I feel like, at times people think when things are that bad that they don't have anybody, that where is God, where is the spirits, those kinds of things. But they really are there, and they're helping more than you know. And that is extremely, from the bottom of my heart, I feel like that is why I'm still here.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's like a phoenix. It's unbelievable. No wonder you're so strong.
Yeah, well, I came into this life apparently knowing that I was going to have this kind of life, and so I do have spirit guides that have been with me through the whole thing, knowing that I asked for those before coming in, because I knew it was going to be such a rough life. In fact, I've even been told that Phil, my mate, my ex-husband, that we live back together again now, that I asked him to come here for me, otherwise he wouldn't even be here. But he is and does act like an ascended master in so many different ways. It freaks me out. And when I was told that, I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense now. It really does. We were completely divorced and didn't live in the same house for 5 years, but he did not even date another woman. Just waited for me to get myself back together again and come back. And let's face it, most men, no way. That just would not happen.
So
And
so his
he was
role.
here just for me. He's only here for me because I asked for him. And I've been told by somebody who can read souls. So this woman's really talented and blessed. And so I really trust in that, and especially because of some of the other things that she said. So yeah, he didn't want to come back here to Earth, but came back here for me because I asked him to. So isn't that cool?
Yeah, amazing, awesome.
Wonderful,
In a
Valerie.
fact, you actually aware and you recognize it, and then embrace and share that itself is a gift. You know, it's you earn it.
Well, I knew there
Michelle,
was something different about him. You know what I mean? Like just by the way he acts, the way he treats other people. He doesn't harbor anger. He's so nice to everyone that he meets, and does so much
yes.
good for the world. It's amazing. It's just most people just don't give like that, and
Um,
without expectation of return. You know?
that is another point I want to mention. So angels, so-called angel, it's not necessarily reside in the astral realm. Actually, walk around among us. It's 2 feet, including I understand ascended master. So some of the psychic friend see the wind coming out right from the guy from carrying on a refrigerator. So don't think that like Harry said, angel, you brought angel because we are part of them before, and then there's some element of angelic form within us, but some people has almost all is basically made of an angelic life force. So we don't need to meditate. We don't need to just keep asking. You could just look around, and here it is. So thank you, Valerie, for that. Michelle, do you want to talk about how do you found out about your angel? I mean, the spirit guide.
You know,
I was
go
just
ahead,
going to
Tom.
say that, like, I didn't even know we had higher selves or spirit guides. And I was doing a Reiki share when I first started learning about Reiki.
Yeah.
And they would talk about that. And I thought that was, like, way beyond, like, I thought, yeah, I hear you telling me to talk to my guides and angels, but, like, I felt really unworthy. Like I didn't deserve that kind of help at that time. And so it's been a really interesting unfolding because now I talk to them all the time. But um, I was just thinking of how the stark difference of how I was like, this is silly and I can't do it. Like I wouldn't do it. Um, which turned into, a lot of things have happened in the last year and a half. So it's clear to me, it's very obvious to me now that I have help all the time. So it's just, I just thought that was kind of an interesting jump. I find it fascinating. I love when people are like, I knew when I was a kid, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I had known when I was a kid.
Yeah, I actually relate to you, Michelle. I totally understand. I'm in the same boat. But thank you for being honest always. Really love you for that. Now, let's see. I think Zane, you've been quiet since last time. Are you okay? Or you want to be listening?
No, I've been listening. I'm actually making breakfast. I'm in New Mexico.
You and Dave. Okay.
You and me both, eh? I was actually the one who was the doubter. I was the doubter, the non-believer. So it wasn't a matter of worthy or unworthy. It simply didn't exist in my mindset. And now, I'm open to receiving, and it's happening at an accelerated rate that people are finding me to guide me in my path.
That's wonderful.
You are one of them, Makiko. Thank you.
Okay.
All of you are.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks. I wanted to
Makiko.
say the same. Thank you guys so much. I think for all of us, you can kind of tell that this community that we all, it's nurturing all of us, and I think it's just so awesome that we can have that, and yeah, keep going all these.
Yeah,
We're
Zane,
all
you
just
are.
gathering in union and communion,
Yeah,
and
I
then
love
it's going
that.
to be archived on YouTube or Makiko's site, and anyone later can come in on this moment and join in
Yes,
on the talk.
that's right. I like that. I
I love our close-knit group here because it just allows us to share just a little bit more. So Makiko, thank you again for inviting me as well.
Yeah, I thank you all. Without you guys, it won't happen. Now, before I go into lead all those contracts, because we want to do this, media, banking, government in a row, okay? But before that, I mean, you know what? I'm not going to share my story. It's not that relevant. I think it's reading a contract revocation. I think it's more the
Did you just
priority.
say your story wasn't relevant?
Oh,
Wow, Makiko.
wow.
Back the
You
truck
got,
up, they say, right?
you
Was
caught
that your
me.
spiritual self, your spiritual signature voice talking, or somebody through you?
I was really impatient. I'm sorry.
Now it looks
Okay.
like we're into the story here, Makiko, so
Okay.
let's go.
So that about the reincarnation grid. Now, I think I shared that I remember before I come down on Earth that I left a very important person, and knowing that I'm going to forget everything, and then I did something to my body so I could remember some. Now I haven't figured that out yet, but important thing was that I wanted to know how we are understanding a size and scale is a part of awakening. Understanding there's other parts of you operating time now in different universe realm or whatever you want to call it, right? So so this is one example, and then also related to karmic debt. Okay, one karmic debt. Well, it's not a karmic debt because related to my path. So I didn't even know until I have this mystical experience, one after the other, and then met Andrew Bartis. You know, why I seen these things, why those people showing me those things, you know, why I have to feel this way or make me doing certain things. You know, one reason was because I was once divinity birther as well as a divinity being. When I was divinity birther, I gave birth to a blue Indian expression of blue being. Well, now I know for sure it's a Shiva. So the Shiva, I gave birth to Shiva 2 million years ago. Even after hundreds of lifetime after, it's still I'm connected to because it was a contract as being a divinity birther. Any time upon if the planet or species in danger or whatever, I'm basically their stargate, so they don't need to use the ship or anything. It could just come through my energy or womb, pop out, right? So what happening is that he was using me, my energy, to time travel. That's why, that's why I get exhausted time to time for no reason. But also because of how that was inserted in my womb, preventing me from connecting to my ancestral energy, ancestral realm, my real ancestors. Now, here is where domination and control grid comes from. So they see that when you're going through this, like, you know, when you're coming into the earth, they see through and they put the fine print, right? What Ryan said about. So they knew I have some kind of karmic things attached to me, and then also I have another contract I needed to fulfill. Now, so they put me to this culture of programming where you must give birth the first son. You must give the birth to first son, because I had another lifetime. I was in Egypt, and they have some karmic entanglement there. truth I needed to resolve. So they also knew that too. So they put me in a position that the hardest way possible to fulfill the mission. So I was born into this family of the DNA lineage that I'm now related to, which is taxed with karmic debt. You must give birth to the male as a firstborn child. So it's a Japanese culture, and this family is a very traditional family that bound up to all sorts of different programming. So it's karmically impacting through my womb, and so double-edged sword. I will not be able to never find, almost next to impossible to find a soul family or complete so-called, or even close to complete the contract and agreement, because this being comes through always to use my energy and blocking me connecting to ancestral lineage, and I'm in a wrong DNA lineage. My parents or nobody is nothing to do with my soul family or right parents to teach me the right skill set. I'm in a wrong skin suits. I was supposed to do this, but I don't have a skill set. So my life is going to be set up for struggle in a sense. So what happened is that basically ascended master and a spirit guide clearly have to work even harder to wake me up. So that's why so many strange things, mystical things happen to me to show me, hey, you got to do something. You really have to move. Otherwise, you will never come out from this, muddy kind of situation. So, but that's just one thing. And I didn't realize I was a divinity being. So that karma, so I did a lot of things. Good things. I did really horrifying thing as well as being that path. Now I've been shown. I remember all the bad things, right? All the horrible things. As I awakened and being revealed the past lives and things that I do remember experiencing. So, but those are a lesson. So to come to the point where we all of us done everything. We are king, queen, beggar, killer, victim, and slaver, victor. And then all that is important, but the one that's come up to you and telling you who you are is a lesson. It's the most important lesson for time now. And for the rest of the 100 or thousands lifetime that doesn't come up, it doesn't come up for a reason, because it doesn't serve a good purpose for now. So in the fact that I have to deal with all those things and remembering all those things, it's because I need it to complete the mission now. So so that's the one thing I wanted you to know. But the second thing is grid things. It's so much multi-layer. Yeah. It's not as simple. Well, we just need to avoid a reincarnation grid. Just don't follow this light. No, it's not that. If it's that simple, yeah, we have a lot more people graduating. In the fact that you can't, because we are so quantumly entangled. So solving one thing, it will peel the next layer of the drama or whatever you want to call it, the journey. So don't think that this is like, just do the one fire, it's over. It's a good step forward in the process. So yes, we should celebrate, but it's a one.
But it wasn't an event. It's a process.
Yes, exactly. And then
It's one event, unless you're going to celebrate the whole process, because it's still going on.
Right. And then also the same thing, don't get discouraged if you feel stuck. But look at the part of the whole thing. This multi-dimensional being, the so-called, they planned this for 50 to 54 million years. That was their plan. If you have a strategic planning, they planned this for 50 million years. And when it's really manifested, it's last, what, 48,000 years. Because 48,000 years, nobody graduated from Earth. So if you think of 50 million, 48,000, it's really tiny slice of a pie toward the end of the pie. Yes, we suffer, yes, but universe scale, it's that tiny little thing. So I don't think we should hang up on, this karmic thing and things like that. We probably should step back and what is your own soul theme, soul purpose. Take care of yourself first, and then expand slowly outwards. And then, like Ryan said, it's not the event. So don't think that as a people say, oh, it's a first contact, or 2015 is this. Okay, that's good for them. Yeah, it's something to do with it. But that's nothing will change because if that day come to you, it's still a journey. So I don't want people to kind of run away. Oh yeah, this is a solar eclipse. Everything will change. It's a first contact. Oh, everything going to happen. No, it's just one of the things. One thing on the calendar. That's my 5 cents.
Just to let you know, Makiko, Zakalu just joined us.
Oh my goodness. How are you? Can you talk?
Can I?
Yeah!
He's not Flipper today.
Hallelujah! I'm so happy for you.
I was kind of lost in limbo on the other link.
No hot!
I held a little revocation boot camp of my own for a while.
Oh, I'm sorry, because we one by one were moving over. Okay. Oh.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to share your amazing breakthrough? Are you ready to share? Or no?
Regarding the Dorian stuff?
Dorian, and then you got a radio reading? Remember the synchronicity?
Oh yeah, I got a radio
I cannot
show.
believe, Ryan, you cannot believe. I was talking to David right before the radio show, and he was telling me his story and his girlfriend. Oh, I can't talk. She's not fully awakened yet. She's gonna freak out. And I said, okay, don't worry. The radio show is, Andrew's radio show gonna come over soon. And then I was praying for you, Zakaru, that you could get on. And guess what happened? Zakaru was the first one, and the second one's David Wood's girlfriend was on the radio show. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Both were profound. If you're not ready, it's okay. Do you wanna read a revocation, or can you share your story?
Well, it's kind of multifaceted, the story, I guess. I did that Dorian thing. The one thing Dorian Light, I know Ryan said he hadn't heard of her, but she's tremendous, isn't she, Makiko?
I love her.
He is so tremendous. And so I discovered I had like family crest and blue blood lineage and this kind of stuff, so I had some court of equity, or not court of equity, spiritual, contractual debt, I guess you might call it. And so we went through that with Dorian, and she cleared a bunch of stuff. And I noticed a lightness came over me, but physically my back started feeling like it was going to go out. I've had a back issue since I was 12 years old, and it felt like it was going to go out, and then it started popping over the next day or two, and I physically felt the vertebrae have realigned. I had one that was like sticking out, felt like that, and now it's like realigned, and I've got great relief. And so I got on Andrew's radio show and was asking him about these physical things and how related to spiritual contracts and past lives and all this stuff, and he said a similar thing, said I had past life negative esoteric practices. So that ties into the blue blood, family crest, Illuminati stuff or whatever. And that when I was in the womb being born this time, I had an entity attached to me, which I created, I guess, karmic debt with him from her or whatever, hurting them in the past life with this esoteric practices stuff, and it attached and hurt my back. Somehow the muscles and the lumbar and all this stuff was affected by that. So he like confirmed this. It was corroborating evidence that somehow my back issue was related to all this stuff. And so there was more to it with Andrew and everything, tinnitus or spirit guides trying to get through and stuff. But anyway, this back thing has just been talk about a mystical experience.
Wait, do you wanna, because we were talking about spirit guide what in your absence. Do you wanna say that a little bit more? Do you wanna explain what Andrew told you about the spirit guide?
Yeah, well, I've had tinnitus, if you guys know what that is, for many, many years, and it's real loud.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just present. It's many tones, and then I'll get in this ear a low rumbling. It sounds like a bulldozer's right outside the window or something.
Oh.
What is tinnitus?
Tinnitus is a Latin word, means ringing of the bells, but it's a constant ringing in the ears. So it's called tinnitus in medical term, a constant ringing inside the ear.
So if we thought about that for a moment, isn't it really just that you are hearing additional frequencies than a normal person might?
Hold on. He gonna explain Andrew's perspective, but Dave,
Right.
You may be right though. Go ahead.
Yeah, you could be right, Dave. I don't know, I've never known. I thought it was from playing in bands and having the drummer crash the cymbal right next to my ear and stuff like that,
What Dan just said.
Ringing the
No, I
bells.
Hearing loss. It's traditionally associated with hearing loss in the medical fields. But so I asked Andrew about it, and he said it was my spirit guides knocking on the door, trying to break through. And that cleaning out, I still, even though I'm primarily a raw vegetable vegan diet, I'll eat some cheeses and stuff like that now and then, but and now I've entered more protein with the Sun Warrior stuff and everything, but I still have imprinted in my gut all of the years of all the fast food and all the negative stuff in there. And so he said through colon cleansing that it was like a hallway. There's like 20 doors. I'm door number 4. And the spirit guides are knocking on door number 9, and I can hear that resonating. They said that's what the tinnitus is. And so by cleansing, I'll reduce that down to like 3 or 4 doors where I'll be able to choose and open the right one and have that connection then. So that's part of my blockage from connecting to them, evidently, is gut health. So I don't know how many of you guys have ever done colonics and stuff. I went and got some pills, and so I've started on that, and it's we always think that you've got to be around the bathroom all the time, but it's not that way. The very first pills, were that way, but then after I've done it now for a few days, it just kind of settles in to a routine. Like Andrew says, the pills do the same thing every time, so I don't know, we'll see. I'm excited to found out this information. It was really empowering.
Yeah, and you remember we were together in Atlantean time?
That's right. That's right. Dorian told us about Atlantis and a group of scientists, 491 and 1 medic, I believe, is what you said, so 492 in total that were off-planet scientists that were creating some technology that would save Atlantis or something, and somehow it got hijacked and ended up assisting the demise of, what was that, Makiko?
No, it's 491. We are ET galactic scientists. We were very advanced back then. What happened to us? This counted things. Oh my god, we're like intergalactic scientists. So cool. We were off land on a ship, and 490 scientists. So we are both scientists. One medics, and then there's a world reader that time to find out our technology to be used very powerfully, however, in a destructive way. It's very much like atomic bomb story. And that's actually led to the fall of Atlantis, but that's at least that's what we thought as a scientist. And then we all basically said no to this world leader. Only 4 of our scientists went with him. We all said no, and most of us got killed there. I think I was incarcerated and my free will was taken away. But all of us did a group contract. That's so stupid. I have a 5 self-imposed irrevocable group contract. Ah, and you too. Zachary.
Contract, right?
Yeah, so that's why we're so struggling. Basically, we will never ever step into our power, right? That's one of the contract that we made to ourselves. There were 4 more. Some of them had a 15, but all. I mean, my case it's all irrevocable and self-imposed. It's a cosmic contract. So Andrew's contract revocation wouldn't work for whatever the reason. It's a cosmic contract, and then this what is it? Mantas came. In my case, did Dorian do the Mantas things?
She did do some clicking, yeah.
The Mantas being, the God cosmic being come in and basically really literally chew up the contract.
So we have Makiko and I were apparently, and you've seen this, right? You've been able to see this, that the scientists in Atlantis, and apparently I was one of them too. So how crazy is that? But you know, it's incredible. Dorian Light. I encourage you guys to check her out, and if you get a reading with her, psychic, energetic, she speaks this light language and stuff. It's just unbelievable. And that I had physically, my body responded, and my back has like healing itself. It's just, I mean, it's just wow. I can't really put it into words.
And you've had that your whole life? The back, different pains in the back?
It first went out in 8th grade. Ryan, I was
8th grade?
8th grade. Was at 13 years old or something, and I had suited up in gym class. We used to have to put on a, you know, our gym suit. I don't know if you guys did that in school. And I was waiting for class to start. I jumped up, hung from the chin-up bar, and my back beat. They literally had to carry me out of the gym and stuff. I couldn't move. And, you know, people thought I was faking and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, man, I'm not faking, you know. So I was at home for a week on the couch, and that was the first time it showed up. And so it's continued on through the rest of my life. And it's interesting, Andrew told me that when that happened in the womb, it was like separating my body. The torso was mine, and then the lower half was this entity's. So it could walk me where it wanted to go, something like that. And it was so funny because when my back has been out throughout my life, there's been times where that was the image I would get, that half, like my legs from my waist down wanted to fall off. So it was just kind of interesting, this information around
Yeah.
about all. Really powerful.
So Dorian said, I think already 90 of scientists came to her.
Yeah, she said it was over 80 during my reading. So she said 80, so I guess one. I don't know what the number is exactly.
Yeah. It's so crazy. And then Hare said that... Huh? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and everybody here, that we're all brought together and that we're here right now, and there's probably a chance that
Oh yes.
there's more of us.
Well,
And right here, you know.
right
I just
there.
want to tell you, Zachalou, I have 2 fusions in my back. And yeah, so I have dealt with the whole back thing too. And I'd never really been sick or had any problems until that. It was, it took that to like slow me down and, you know, get me
I
to
have it
not be
too.
in that world of work, I think, you know,
Yeah.
to change my life. And it definitely, I needed something drastic to do that, I think. And that was it. I mean, it stopped me in my tracks and made me reevaluate my life and take into consideration what life really was about and what it was supposed to be about. So it was a transition that needed to happen to bring me here.
Nice.
So in that respect, I'm happy I had it happen, but unhappy about the pain of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand. I have it too. Go ahead. Somebody say something.
I was going to say that I have great success with. I had 15 years of chronic back pain from injuries, a motorcycle accident and a severe car accident, and over years and years of so-called treatment and medications, I never healed. And just recently, as I've been feeling my spiritual guides and my awakening process, I took on a whole different aspect and gave back all of the narcotics that they were giving me and took on a different state of mind about it, and I'm absolutely 100% healed right now.
Wow, that's
I used to drop to the floor just from a cough or a sneeze. And not
I
be
did
able
that
to-
too. I did
Yeah,
the exact
not be
same
able
thing.
to get out of bed for 4 to 5 days.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have nothing lingering anymore at all.
You know, even after the fusions, I still had immense pain. But I have been told that I have people, well, entities, working on my back all the time. And there'll be mornings that I wake up and I swear it feels like I just had a surgery or something. It's just crazy, crazy pain. And then it's like throughout the day it gets better and better, and then I feel way better. So I think really that is happening, like in my sleep. Like I wake up to a different, you know, thing going on.
beautiful.
I actually had a period of 10 days that I had to endure that was absolutely horrifying. It was the worst I've ever had. And when it was done, all of it. Then it was gone ever since, and I've never had another issue.
Nice.
And I'm very thankful.
So yeah, for me, it's so interesting for me that I just, finish up with this, that all this is intertwined with our DNA, with our physical bodies. You know, this is so intertwined. It's much deeper than I was really aware of. To actually see the physical manifestation now. And I've seen things with fire and the smoke do crazy things. I mean, that all this revocations and these contracts are so vital. It really is binding us down to the physical level, all the way up to the highest dimensions.
Let's do it. I want you to read the banking revocation. Can you do it?
Okay.
I know. We'll listen.
All right. So, go for it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I call to all spiritual contracts that exist within my past, present, and future beings, selves, and existences in this dimension and time stream, all time streams above and below the Earth-centric sine wave of coexistence. At this exact moment, in the ever-present co-creating moment, I summon all DNA lineage ancestors to create a unified, proper spiritual court of equity, so I may find remedy and resolve with all contracts that have inserted fine print during the pre-birth and birth process. I call to the 4 elements, air, earth, water, and fire. I call forth the spiritual court of equity, with all ancestors in union with the migration patterns of all soul families incarnating on Earth Mother. I call the primary ancestor spirits of Earth Mother to come into the spiritual court of equity to hold space for the reading and removal of all contracts dealing with the energetic exchange of value systems. I call forth the Earth Global Dreamtime. I call to the unified Dreamtime societies of all Earth to come to the spiritual court of equity to provide their complete wisdom to the sacred moment in which I reclaim my sovereign spirit authority for all energetic exchange of energy for value systems. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with the primary banking families. Revoked, baby. Yes. I revoke all spiritual contracts with all banking family crests. Revoked. I revoke, remove, and dissolve all banking family trusts that use my family name as a number for energy harvesting. I revoke all assumed rights used by the DNA-based kingship, lordship, or manor rule contracts that function within all banking families. I hereby state I do not consent to the rule by the few. I do not consent to rule by the banking families. I do not consent with the assumed authority of the banking families funding the free court systems. Absolute. I do not consent to that. I revoke all rights, privileges, and rules created by the family crest-based or DNA lineage-based banking families to dominate and control the free court system. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts that define the bank system as being intertwined with my free will, as I am a sovereign being, as I state in my free will at this ever-present moment of now. I revoke all fine print within all of my soul contracts, past, present, and future, that deal with any banking system as a 3D matrix debt collection or energy harvesting system. I demand the instant repayment of all energy and 3D matrix representations of value.
Hear, hear.
Let me correct that. I demand the instant repayment of all energy and 3D matrix representations of value. I do not consent to the use of corrupt courts as a means of judgment. I revoke all rights of 3D-based courts' assumptions of power with any 3D exchange for value systems created for the follies of the banking families. I hereby revoke all consent of ink-based, web-based, or energy-based signature harvesting systems. I revoke all rights to use my 3D matrix signature to represent me in any court system, spiritual or 3D matrix. I do not consent to the use of my soul contracts as a means of energy harvesting from any of the primary banking systems created by the primary soul contract holding banking families. I revoke all rights to use my name in any form of banking family coat of arms contracts. I demand the instant and permanent erasure of all signatures used to represent me in the banking exchange for value systems. I do not consent to the use of my life force for any exchange for value banking system that is not completely transparent with all transactions, spiritual or 3D matrix. I hereby state that all bank-based buildings using sacred geometry have no power over my sovereign free will. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with all banking systems that use sacred geometry as a means of energy harvesting or a tool for domination and control. I revoke all rights, privileges, and assumptions with all buildings that use sacred geometry as fine print soul contract enforcement systems. I do not consent to any sacred geometry building to house, hold, or transfer any of my life force to any banking system on all of Earth's timelines and or coexisting dimensions. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with all sacred geometry systems that use my life force without my direct consent from me and all of my soul family ancestors in complete agreement. I revoke all rights, assumptions, and rules that create a new sacred geometry banking system. That's right, any new system is just more of the same, man, I think. I hereby declare that all banking banking families and systems are now banished from operating in secret, covert, or overt ways to harvest my energy in any way, shape, or form. I hereby declare that Earth's Mother is now in dominion with me for all energy exchanged for value systems. I call forth all of the ancestors to honor this reading of my free will and enter it into the Earth Akashic record for all sentient kind to understand our freedom comes with the use of free will at all times.
Woo!
Woo! That's what I call a reading with some, power behind it.
That was beautiful, Zach.
Very.
Wow.
I know.
I could feel that for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Amazing.
Thank you for that opportunity.
Who wants to? How do you feel? How do you feel, Zachary?
I feel adrenaline rush, and humbled.
I feel goosebumps.
Spiritually rich.
Absolutely.
Just, it was a great opportunity. Thank you.
You earn it. Finally, the entity detached. Woo!
Yeah, it must be.
That is amazing. That everything that Doreen told you as well.
Yeah, it corroborated it all so much. It was really, and then the physical changes. It's just, it's tremendous. It's just a blessing, such a blessing.
Well, we needed you today to bring the rest of the story together. It's strange how it works that way, but it's sort of like you brought it full circle. It was perfect.
Yeah. I have a strange Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go, Makiko. I didn't have anything.
I have a strange feeling that Tata wants to read a revocation of government.
Me? I don't have that revocation.
Oh, you don't? Who wants to read a government stuff?
It's hard to follow up that act right there, too.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to follow it up. Oh, maybe just clear
Oh my God! Next time you're gonna have to sing it to us, Zach.
No. Harris, do you have it? You have a great voice too for that.
Perhaps we could split into two because Harris could read from his government, and so I want somebody to represent the government here as well. What do you think? Who has some passionate toward government? I'm serious. Don't you wanna? Do you wanna go again, Zachary?
Well, I mean, like I have that,
I don't mind
but I have company here, and I have my little doggy that wants to bark, so I just assume not today.
He's just thinking, yay!
Well, I'll go ahead and read it if nobody wants to volunteer.
Go ahead.
I'll do the media after.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
It's on you.
Okay. Here we go then. I call to all spiritual contracts that exist within my past, present, and future being selves and existence in this dimension and time stream, all time streams above and below the Earth-centric sine wave of coexistence. At this exact moment, in the ever-present co-creating moment, I summon all DNA lineage ancestors to create a union of equity so I may find remedy and resolve with all contracts that have inserted fine print during the pre-birth and birth process. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts that deal with all government personalities, elected and unelected. I revoke all spiritual contracts with all family crest-based government systems. I revoke all rights, duties, and responsibilities to all government entities that use my vote as a means of energy harvesting. I revoke all spiritual contracts with every senator, congressman, ambassador, Supreme Court member, president, vice president, all cabinet members, throughout all time and space, of all infinite possibility. I revoke all spiritual contracts with every branch of government for all of my past, present, and future lives. I do not consent to the rule of the privileged few. I revoke all rights, responsibilities, assumptions, presumptions, and signatures that retain me within the entirety of any or all governmental organization, family crest, sacred geometry buildings, monuments, memorials, military bases, court systems, legalese, treachery, and trickery. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with the corporate-run government. I do not consent to any form of corporate government that harvests energy from its people. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with the Federal Reserve families. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen. Aho!
Amen.
Amen.
I revoke all rights, assumptions, and responsibilities with every member of the Federal Reserve in exchange for value systems run by any government or corporate officials. I revoke all spiritual contracts hidden within our government exchange for value systems. Hidden within our government exchange for value systems. I revoke all spiritual contracts with all government offices that use sacred geometry crests to retain power or insert fine print in soul contracts. I revoke all rights, privileges, powers, assumed and unassumed, consented and unconsented with every federal law enforcement branch that uses Federal Reserve energy to support the system of domination and control. And when I say law, it's in all their forms, in all their guises, all their colors. For the Admiralty jurisdiction is color of law. It is corporate policy. So all forms of law, when I say law in this reading. I revoke all spiritual contracts that create consent for the government committees that determine quality of life. I revoke all rights, duties, responsibilities for all government systems that write laws in all their forms, all their guises, all their colors that affect my spiritual contracts without my direct consent from my total DNA lineage ancestors, past, present, and future, through all time and space. I revoke all spiritual contracts that enable the government to use time travel as a means of domination and control. I revoke all rights and duties of all time traveler personalities, operation systems, past, present, and future. I demand the immediate return of all government time travel personalities to their right and perfect timeline. I revoke all rights with all technologies that alter dimensions, manipulate time streams, or do harm to any sentient life forms coexisting on Earth in all timelines and dimensions. I do not consent to timeline wars. I do not consent to mass propaganda. I do not consent with war-based industrial complex. I do not consent to the use of military to dominate and control. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts sacredly interwoven in each and every law in all their forms, all their guises, all their colors, past, present, and future. I do not consent to the passing of laws in all their forms, all their colors, all their guises that affect soul family migrations, soul family immigration, or systems that prevent me from uniting my complete and total soul family. I demand the instant return of all my soul family that has been denied the right to coexist with me for all my past, present, and future lives. I revoke all rights, rules, and laws in all their forms, all their colors, all their guises that define soul family on a 3D matrix level. I return all definition of soul family status to Earth Mother. I revoke all rights to label soul families with sacred geometry linguistics that cross dimensions or realities. I revoke all spiritual contracts with all forms of sacred geometry linguistics, past, present, and future. I do not consent to the use of sacred geometry linguistics as a means of energy harvesting. I do not consent to the use of sacred geometry, cities, infrastructures, linguistics, or artwork for the purpose of domination and control. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts that enable the government to dominate and control all people on any timeline or dimension in Earth Mother's realms. I revoke all assumptions and presumptions of power and caste systems. I revoke all spiritual contracts that define sentient life as cattle, or commerce, or chattel, or property, or credit, or certificates, or bonds. I do not consent to my life force being used for any purpose that does not heal Earth Mother and promote unity consciousness among all sentient kind, living and coexisting within Earth Mother. I hereby declare that Earth Mother is now in dominion with me for all forms of global governance, interpersonal relations, or galactic relations, for all sentient kind existing and coexisting on Earth Mother's realms. I call forth all the ancestors to please honor this reading of my free will and enter it into the Earth Akashic record. For all sentient kind to understand, our freedom comes with the use of our free will at all times.
Woohoo!
Woo!
That was great.
Thank you again.
Thank you for letting me do that.
Love it.
Giving me the space to do that. Thank you.
You had me at I hereby revoke.
Wonderful additions on there also, and explanations on your meanings.
Yeah. I like that you adding a cutter.
I like that he adds the other words in that cover it all. You're covering all the bases. I love that.
Yes. Days in a hole. And yes, a hole.
Powerful.
There is no real law in the United States or Europe or Australia. You know, it's color of law. It's corporate policy. Our government is a corporation. You know, we're talking about spiritual stuff, but you get down into the, and it all interconnects, but there is no state of Colorado. There is no Colorado sovereign state. It's a corporate holding of the United States, of the Crown Corporation.
That's
So
right.
all
Corporation of the United States, yes.
That's right. It's a monopoly world we're living in, people, and we suffer from the debt of the fake green money.
Does
Right.
anybody
The monopoly money.
does anybody know the history of because I don't have it, but somehow at the end of the Revolutionary War, there was a secret handshake with England that said, okay, we'll let you be free, but we will establish birth certificates which will harvest your children.
Yes, that's what this is. That's why we're revoking it. Like a cattle. We are stamped like a cattle. The
Okay.
social security.
livestock.
Yes,
Birth
right.
certificate
That's right.
sold on the stock market. They have
The
value.
birth certificate gives them the right to borrow money against our name. That's why they say when we have this extended debt, right, like we do right now, that we are
Correct.
leaving that debt to our grandchildren because they're inheriting it the minute they're born. The
Now,
minute they get a certification that I am a citizen of this United States, they inherit that debt, which is ridiculous.
yes. And then we are supposed to revoke that before 84 or 7, I forgot. But if we don't do that, which none of us probably did, we are under this cattle system.
Were declared lost at sea at age 7. It's admiralty.
Yeah.
Admiralty laws, yes, has been in place, and none of it actually pertains to land.
Right.
And we're being tried as aiding the enemy. We're being tried as prisoners of war. USA is legally at war right now.
Yes, well, we're, you know, if they wanted to get technical, we're technically terrorists right now, and they
Yeah,
could
we're
throw us
aiding
into
the
a
enemy.
freaking camp. But that's ridiculous again.
yes,
I
it is
don't-
ridiculous. Let's
I don't
remember,
know
this is a monopoly place, so we gotta
They
play.
take Monopoly very seriously. It's just a game.
It is a game.
That Monopoly money is not real.
So,
There's a.
as long as we know that, don't, just, it's part of the drama that we're dealing with. Now, let's move on with this nice energy. Ryan, did you say you want to be the media? Oh, I'm sorry. Valerie, do you want to say something?
No, I just said, yeah, let's move along.
Okay.
Yeah, I could read the media.
Okay.
Oh, also, there were 8 presidents before George Washington.
Yes.
Just so y'all know, he's like the first one where they started their history. He's the first of the Masons. But there were 13 years from 1776 to 1787 when the first president was elected. There were 13 years. There were 8 different presidents before then. We're not told.
That's interesting.
But I'll do the contract removal for media systems.
Thank you.
I call to all spiritual contracts that exist within my past, present, and future beings, selves, and existence in this dimension and time stream, all time streams above and below the Earth-centric sine wave of coexistence. At this exact moment in the ever-present co-creating moment, ancestors to create a unified, proper spiritual court of equity, so I may find remedy and resolve with all contracts that have inserted their fine print during the pre-birth and birthing process. I call forth this proper spiritual court of equity to hear my decree of contract removal. I revoke all spiritual contracts with earth-based media systems using domination and control as a means of energy harvesting, fear instigation, or reality manipulation with energetic propaganda technologies. I call forth all ancestors of all soul relations to hold space in this spiritual court of equity. I call to my Earth Mother and all her light denizens within all inner and outer space to come forward and occupy this spiritual court of equity. O great mystery, who is the source of all power, I call to you. Come with your sacred synchronicity so all beings may hold space within unity consciousness. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with all media personalities that do not have full use of free will and full knowledge of our DNA ancestry. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with all media agencies, corporations, and media-based family crests. I hereby revoke all spiritual contract assumptions, presumptions, and statistical models that predict my habit patterns through use of commercial advertising intertwined with the system of domination and control. I do not consent to etheric grid broadcasting over public airwaves, television, internet, radio, or any other means or methods that propagate propaganda for mass consumption. I do not consent to predictive modeling by etheric or commercial means. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with all media-based sacred geometry buildings. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with the sacred geometry media presidents, shareholders, news anchors, news reporters, pundits, talking heads, and all representations of government officials within the entire global media network. You do not have power over me. You have no power over me with your presumptions of knowledge. We are manifesting, co-creating spirits. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts with all news regurgitating systems, crawlers, websites, search engines, print media, and all forms of etheric propaganda used within all of these systems. I revoke all presumptions of consent with all media agencies. I revoke all assumptions with all advertising agencies that are funded by the system of domination and control. I do not consent with any advertising systems targeting soul groups, soul migrations, or the spiritual incarnation process. I hereby revoke all spiritual contracts that limit the genetic free-willed expression of all sentient kind. I revoke all spiritual contracts that define the media as our tellers of oral traditions or generational teachers. I revoke all contracts with the sacred geometry satellite broadcasting system. I revoke all contracts with the etheric artificial intelligences that use sacred geometry satellite systems as a means to hijack my information stream. I do not consent to psychic monitoring or influencing from any media system that services the system of domination and control. I hereby demand the instant removal of all broadcasting-based psychic parasites and their propagation and harvesting system that creates herds of psychic parasites. I revoke all contracts that use my life force as a false form of consent for the propagation and spreading of psychic parasite within all of my DNA soul relations. I hereby revoke all soul contracts that grant the media power to last beyond one generation of history. I demand all rights of generational knowledge to be returned to the soul family structure. I demand the return of our history in a transparent manner, so there will never again be secrets kept from our people. I hereby revoke all rights, duties, responsibilities, and current actions of all media personalities. Your services are no longer required. I revoke all privileges that grant the media families any power over my soul contracts, soul family, or soul-based migration patterns. I revoke all rights to any media system based in domination and control from ever returning within my soul family structure of all past, present, and future lives. I, in this ever-present moment, hereby demand the instant cessation and removal of all false information from all media. I hereby demand that any and all future distribution of information over all forms of media absolutely embodies true transparency in perpetuity. I hereby declare that Earth Mother is now in dominion with me for all local or mass media information exchange systems. I call forth all the ancestors to honor this reading of my free will and enter it into the Earth Akashic record for all sentient kind to understand our freedom comes with the use of free will at all times.
Woo!
Nice, Ryan.
Nice,
Thank you.
Ryan.
Thanks for letting me read it.
Nice.
Woohoo! Very, very nice. Appreciate
Yes.
that.
Hey, thank you. I wanted to, every time you read, I wanted to feel which part and how you felt as a feeling or as an emotion or already manifested in a pain. I wanted to register each time you read, and I want you to write down the release or anything else, a mystical experience happened after this experience.
Mm.
What I'm going to do is, as you share, I will record it and I will submit to Andrew's team as a collective, and hopefully Harris and Zakaru could do some magic on a revocation song, and it could all play a part in a song, and we'll submit that song and put it on YouTube, however you want to do it, and we'll circulate that around. Well,
Forget
Dave, I think you could do the drumming. I don't know, whatever gonna come up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Zane has like an unbelievable video filming business.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, maybe he could help us. What do you
Yeah.
think, Zane?
I can help, yeah, of course.
I'm gonna fly over to your place and you're gonna make the music and film.
Uh-huh. Come on over.
Where are you located at, Zane?
I'm in New Mexico right now, but I'm from New Jersey. So.
Yeah, I'm in Arizona.
Hey, I live in Page, Arizona most of the time, so maybe we could meet sometime.
How far between?
Yeah, I'm not too far from you.
So maybe I should plan a trip to go to see you and then Todd next.
Do
Where are you
it.
guys at? Arizona?
Come by Texas on the way. I'm in Texas.
Mhm.
Can we meet at the Four Corners?
I like that.
Yeah, that would be great. You're going to be on tour, Makiko.
I love to. I'm planning to go. This year going to be my travel time, and I want to go Ireland too.
Yeah, I've heard it has a lot of special stuff. Ireland is.
But I'm going to ask. Oh wait, before I just want a logistic. So
You're breaking up there, Makiko.
I think it's a lot of noise. So let me see here.
Maybe it was Dave's cooking, huh?
And maybe that's why. So before I move to the, let's see, it's already past 2. All right, maybe you cannot cover this today.
Yeah, I gotta get going here pretty soon. You're sent 7:30 this morning.
Oh my goodness.
It's now afternoon.
All right, so I'm gonna end with the one ritual, the one of the song I learned from Rumerian, and then I'm gonna finish with their quote. And after we finish the broadcast, I just want to tell you the logistic for some of the session gonna change beforehand, so we all be able to make arrangement if we can. All right. So here it is. This is a sun ritual I saw, and then I follow up with one of the great channelers who channeled one of my ancestor Rumerian for me, who come to help Reiki time to time. So it's one of the it starts with the meditation and things like that, but the core part is the prayer is Amanfa, Amanfa. He pronounces as Amanfa. It is a prayer for thankfulness of all the things that exist. Thank you for everything, every molecule, all pieces of matter, all the things existing in my realm and in every realm, every universe, every dimension, every thought process, every parallel universe, every timeline. You will be a part of who I am. And then end with a song. Are you ready to listen?
Yeah.
It's very short, and I really try hard to make it like it sounds like him. Here you go. Bring me light. Why? Yeah. We are meaning, we are grateful to be with you. Let us be one.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Ta-da!
That was beautiful.
Very, very beautiful,
great.
Makiko.
Thank you. It was much better when Jim was channeling with this Romerian.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it was
No,
very, very
it's
pretty
all-
the way you
beautiful.
did it.
Thank you.
All of
You
our spirit guides
underestimate
thank
yourself.
you as well.
That's true. Yeah, I asked them sing together, but they say, "Oh, we are not on Earth at this time." All right, thank you. After I stop the broadcast, I have just one quick announcement. So if you could stay, please do. Now we're going to finish the broadcast. Hey, thank you so much for watching. See you soon.
Thank you, Makiko. Namaste.
Bye. Namaste.
Thank you for the blessing.
Thank you.